Hi, I'm Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies. I'm out here shooting at night time. This is my backyard area and I'm shooting to a target out there, and it's pretty cold, it's winter, and it's about 3 days until the Nationals. Now I'm shooting recurve tonight because last night I got my compound sorted and I shot a really personal best score with the compound, 300 out of 300 with 24 X's out of 30 X's. So that was pretty good. So very happy with that. So now we're working on the recurve. Now with the recurve, since I shot the Nationals last year where I was 1 point off winning the state component of it, I've gone up in bow poundage. Now since I've gone up in bow poundage, I've been really struggling. Like, I've shot some good ends, there's no question, some really good ends. But then other ends are not so good. And with 3 days to go, I've got a big decision to make, whether to stick with this bow, the Expression at 42 pounds, or to drop back to my old bow with different arrows. So for a beginner, what this says is when you go up in poundage, you've got to change arrows. And often when you go up in poundage, you're going to struggle because you shake a little bit, you need to build up strength. And also, I find that my technique and form has struggled with the higher poundage. So I feel like I'm raising this shoulder here when I shoot. My muscles are a bit sore now when I'm shooting, and I've torn this part of my shoulder through drawing a heavy bow in the shop, which is not good a week before the Nationals. So I'm going to shoot some arrows now, let's see how they go, and then I'm going to grab my old bow, the 38 pound Win and Win, and then we're going to shoot some arrows with that. Now my other question I've got before the Nationals are here in 3 days is the arrows I shoot. So I'm currently shooting, and I shot last year, impulse vanes from Boning, which are very standard recurve vane, the impulse. Whether I shoot spin wings or not, because with spin wings it gets the arrows spinning faster through the air, creates more drag, and theoretically it gets it stable quicker. Now I've got 3 days, so I could fletch a set of arrows, stick some spin wings on, and compare my difference in my groups between spin wings and normal vanes. Now spin wings are more work as far as maintenance is concerned, especially for the shooting I do. So for me, I'm not blaming my gear at all. I'm blaming myself and my technique. When I execute a good shot, it goes in the middle. It's just, with a recurve, it is so hard. So we're going to shoot a couple of shots here with this bow. And then we're going to set up the 38 pound Win and Win and see how I shoot. Now it's not the first time I haven't done this. I've put the 42 pound limbs on the Win and Win. And I actually shot, I'm going to say, not as good. I was happy with the PSE XAppeal riser. I've got used to the grip and I'm feeling pretty comfortable, but I don't feel I'm getting the same results. So when you look at yourself shooting, it's not a matter of change your gear, because I actually haven't. I've been trying some new arrows out and I feel like I've got them working. However, when I fitted the pin knock system to them, these are the Victory arrows, when I fitted the pin knock system, it made them slightly longer, so I couldn't interchange arrows anymore because I have to change my clicker point. So I've made a decision, I'm going to stick with the Tornadoes for this comp because I do shoot pretty well with them. They've been very consistent and very strong arrows. So these are the Win and Win Tornado. Now, when you're coming up to a Nationals and shooting a competition, it's all easy to say don't worry about the score and don't panic, because people are going to panic. It's like, oh, I've put lots of work into this. But if you panic and you worry about it, it's over. It's just one arrow at a time, one shot at a time. It's the same as practicing. It's that simple. If you win the tournament, your life is not going to change. If you win the Nationals, your life is not going to change. You know, like Hoyt's not going to come up to you and say, we'll give you $100,000 to shoot a Hoyt. It's not going to happen. So you're doing it for yourself, to prove to yourself the time you put in, the effort, and then to come back next year and see if you can improve on what you did the year before. And I didn't used to shoot nationals. I found nationals too expensive. But in my state where I am, the tournaments are pretty well priced, and I don't mind spending that amount of money. And I tend to pick the tournaments I shoot at. So yeah, just enjoy the process. And try and execute a good shot. So every shot I make, I'm thinking about, do I release the shot right? Is my technique correct? How does it feel when I shoot the shot? And when I get down to the target, and you're going to see the error is not good. Like, I have done some good ends before, and I've got them on video where I've shot good ends, but this will not be good. But just focus on what it feels like to make a good shot. For me, I focus on my back tension here, the pressure in my shoulder blades. If I can feel the tension in there and feel it through the shot, it's generally a pretty good shot. So that's what I focus on. I have been focusing on building up this poundage to 42. So a lot of it, since this time last year to now, has been to build up this poundage and build up my strength. Like 1 year to build up strength. I'm going to say also I shoot mainly I shoot recurve now. However, my compound scores have never been better. So take from that what you will. My understanding of this is if you're a good recurve shooter, you can probably shoot good compound as well, but it doesn't flow in the other direction. So my reasoning for that, there are so many good recurve archers who pick up a compound and shoot extremely well. But it doesn't go the other way. If you're a good compound shooter, it's generally pretty hard to pick up a recurve and shoot it well. Now what's hard for me also is, you'll see the target I'm aiming at. It's very hard for me to see the center. Now I do have an indoor shooting range, which I obviously own in the shop, and I could go there and shoot. However, for me, I shot there last night, I'm going to go there tomorrow night. For me, it's just about volumes of arrows. I've just got to shoot lots and lots of arrows before the nationals. So rather than spending 15 minutes driving there and 15 minutes driving back, that's half an hour. Half an hour I can shoot a fair few arrows. And I just want to shoot these arrows. Plus what's nice being at home, I can just jump inside, jump on the computer, grab a coffee. I put a little tablet on here while I'm shooting, just to background noise to stop me getting bored. And my son's inside, so it's like I'm not abandoning my son. So I'm always in awe about lots of the top archers, a lot of Olympians who manage a personal life as far as a family. And the Olympian I can think of is Matt Gray. He's a similar age to myself, and he's been in the Olympics for so many years, and I could argue the point he should have been in the Olympics this year. But like, he holds down a full-time job, he shoots at a high level, and he's got a family. It's like, where's all this time? Where'd you fit it in? Like, surely work I mean, once you do your 10 hours of work, and then you're driving home from work and getting to work, you're just buggered at the end of the day. There's no time. Even the families a struggle. And then you've got to find time for archery. I mean, the guy's amazing that you can do it. And to be at a high level for so many years. I mean, I saw Matt shoot in the Sydney Olympics. I'm going to get the year wrong with Sydney Olympics. 1996. I think the Sydney Olympics was I 26 back then? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I was a bit older. Maybe it was 2000, the Olympics. The Sydney Olympics were the year 2000, so 16 years ago. But I think he was in the Olympics before that too. So we'll go down and have a look at these arrows. I'll just shoot one more. Now I'll set up my other bow and you can see the difference. Now also today I made a new string for this bow. Now why did I do that? I was shooting a Win and Win string, the BCY string, and the materials it's made out of, even though it's made out of BCY, which is a really good material, the center serving, which is this serving here, I reckon is made out of nylon or a cheaper material, which is prone to wear. And I didn't want to get to a competition and have wear on the string. So I made up this string today. I used Fast Flight and Halo serving. Made sure it clips onto the string just right. I've got the little, I tied on these little loops. Now I found no difference between knocking points and tied on loops. So, but I'm tying them on now. When you think about competing in a competition, I see pictures of archers in my state all the time posting these amazing shots where they're shooting all their arrows in the gold. And you think, oh, it's no use in me even competing. And that's where I feel right now. There is no use me competing in these nationals whatsoever with a recurve. However, I say that, but they don't shoot all their arrows in the gold. They don't, and they won't. I mean, they've taken a picture of a good end where their arrows are in the gold. But the realism is they shoot 3 arrows in the gold and they shoot 3 arrows in the red. I'm not taking disrespect to those archers, by the way. But don't worry about what other archers are doing. Worry about yourself. And even though you go, oh look, I only shoot 250 out of 300, do you know 250 may be a winning score? And it's not even about that. It's a matter of like, the top score I've shot with a recurve indoors before the competition has been a 278. And last year at the Nationals, I think I shot 276, 274, I think I shot 268. I would really like to break the 280 mark at the Nationals. The way I'm shooting, I'm probably going to break 240, right? But that's what I'd like to do. And if I got it all, if everything was flowing at the competition, I'd break 280, no problems. So my strength feels good, but yeah. So when you think about shooting a competition, it's not about whether you're going to win or lose. Like honestly, I don't care. What I care about is how I compete against myself, against what I expect, how I compete on the competition. The work I put in is critical to me. I sit here every night in the cold shooting arrows and it's not fun. I'd rather be inside in a warm house with the TV on or sitting inside doing gym, quite frankly. But if I want to shoot good scores and I want to improve, I've got to just put the time in, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I probably haven't put enough time in, I probably haven't put enough gym in, and I probably haven't done enough running and cardio and all that, but I feel like it's starting to get there. So I've got a feeling this Nationals is not going to be a good one for me as far as recurve's concerned, but I'm hoping the other events as the year progresses gets better for me. So that's where, fingers crossed, that's where I'm hoping it'll get to. But we'll go down and look at these arrows, and I guarantee they'll be horrible. So let's go and see those horrible arrows. Okay, so I'm up here at the target. Now it's pretty hard to see when you're back there, the center of the target. So I'm not going to group as well in the dark as I would in an indoor shooting range. But you can see the spread of my arrows. They're spread out, right? Like there's some arrows here which are good. Like there's a little clump here which is awesome. But overall, they're not very good. Now I do have a couple of dodgy arrows in this pile, which I haven't sorted out yet. Now why are they dodgy? It could be bent pins. And I haven't really worried about it yet, because it's just been, I've got 15 arrows here, I'm just shooting them. I've shot probably 10 ends tonight, 150 arrows so far. Now that veins off. Like my veins are not good. But it's just about volume and building the strength and the consistency in the shot. So it hasn't really worried me at all. But I am worried coming up to the Nationals that I'll bomb it and look stupid. And that doesn't even really worry me that much, but I'd like not to look stupid. So let's go and grab the 38 pound Win and Win, and let's grab these are 600 spined arrows. For the 38 pound I'm shooting 700 spines, so let's try those out and let's see what sort of group I get out here and see how it shoots. Okay, so this is the first time, this is the Win and Win Wiawis Nano Max with the Wiawis limbs. Now I have also tried the 42 pound Win and Win Wiawis NS limb, which is a new limb for 2017. I tried them out with a concept that I would shoot them for this Nationals. However, I found the limbs a little bit stiff compared to the other limbs, and I just found with the hurt in the shoulder, I didn't want to take that risk, so I abandoned that concept. So I have tried them, and I will do a review on them. I do have the new 2017 Win and Win Risers, but once again I haven't tried them due to just shooting and time constraints. But this is the bow that I've shot my best scores with, and I haven't shot it. I haven't shot these arrows for almost a year. So let's hope I don't put an arrow into the neighbour's shed, because I honestly have not shot one. So the first problem is I drew it straight through the clicker. So I'm going to move the clicker. And you're going to say, why did you draw it straight through the clicker? It's because I would have been trying the VAPs with pins, which are slightly longer arrows, so I would have moved the clicker forward. So one thing about training with a heavier bow limb for a recurve is your muscles develop, so when you drop back to the 38 pounds, it's much easier. So it's not like I was going, well, these 38 limbs will never be used again. This was always my backup plan. If come the Nationals I hadn't shot scores similar to what I shot last year, this was always my fallback position if I couldn't get to the position I wanted in time. Ow. That hit my arm. So that's one of the other things which is interesting too. It's this bow, the Wiawis whacks my arm. The PSE XAppeal doesn't. So let's just try and keep that running. I'll just freeze that and go and get an arm guard because it's really sore. Okay, so I've got my arm guard. It's a Win and Win carbon arm guard, which is really expensive. but quite nice. The magnetic system in it's quite nice. So now coaches will say don't change your gear before a tournament. And yeah, I kind of agree with it, but if you can improve, then why not? And if you see a lot of the top archers, they will shoot different bows. So they come along to one tournament, they're shooting a green bow, next time they're shooting a white bow. It's because it really doesn't matter what bow they shoot. They're good shots. So this feels like a toy compared to the 42 now. It feels like nothing at all. And it's like 4 pounds. You think 4 pounds isn't much, and it's really not. Like I said, I've torn this part of my shoulder here. I can't even feel it with the 38. It's just, there's no pain at all. So feels to me a bit like an elastic band going off compared to the PSE. It's weird. This time last year I was loving this bow. It's not like I don't love it, it just feels too soft now. And I've tried the 42 pound limbs on it, and I found them just a little bit heavy, and I could wind them down to kind of make it work, but given the time constraints, it's so I'm just checking the spine of the arrows. I'm sure these are right arrows. I mean, I can feel the bow hit my arm. I can't feel it hit my arm, but I know it's hitting because I can hear it hit my arm guard. Which I'm conscious of now, because with the XAppeal it's not hitting, so it's like they felt terrible. And it's not a concept of the bow. For me, it just didn't feel as good. It's like the bow itself's fine as far as vibration. It was just I couldn't feel my back tension. I couldn't feel it in the shoulder blades. Like when I was shooting really, really well, I could kind of feel the pressure in my lower shoulder blades, kind of down this area. And it used to kind of move in. Weird thing to explain because you don't kind of get it with the compound. But the arrows, when I've had good shots, the kind of shoulder blades kind of move in, like sort of like that, and that's what it feels. The good shots feel like to me, and that's what I'm trying to reproduce. But when you've got sore muscles and all that, it's really, really hard. So let's go down and see where those are, and we can see how we went. Okay, so I'm down here at the target. This is my group. I can't get my arrows around them. There's a nice little bunch there in the middle. Now what's interesting about this is my sight's off to the side, because I think the last time I shot this bow, I was shooting their 42 pound limbs with the 600 spined arrows, and they shot in the middle. With these 700 spined arrows, they're shooting to the left, which means I've got to move my pin out to the left. If I recall correctly, when I did the video of the Wiawis Nano, my sight was very much to the left. And I had one viewer said it's to do with the tune of your bow. And I tuned the heck out of that bow to try and get the arrows shooting, when I say well, they were shooting well, but to try and get things lined up more. To try and get this pin from being off to the left, more in the center, and it just, basically I couldn't do it. So I just shot it and I used to shoot well. But now I look at it and I'm like, do you know what? I think I'm happy with 42 pound and I'm just gonna persist. Like, I'm gonna shoot one more end. One more end, I'll show you the results, I won't show you me shooting. I just think I prefer the 42 and I think I'll give the PSE a run at a tournament because I've never shot I haven't shot the XAppeal at a tournament. I mean, I've shot it at home for 6 months and I was shooting really well with it before Dad died, and that was at Christmas. Like I thought I was going to shoot a state record. I was shooting really well, and then Dad died and I basically had a month off, and that kind of killed my shooting. Now I've been out here slogging away every night trying to get it back where it's back to the stage where it's pretty presentable at a competition. I don't make myself look stupid. And once again, when I say I don't make myself look stupid, a lot of my customers say, oh, I can't shoot a tournament because I'm not good enough. It's not about being good enough. It's about putting the work in, just turning up and doing it. It's like a marathon race. When people run marathons, like the Kenyans win. I'm going to say Kenyans. They just win it. They just whip everyone. And there's thousands of people running a marathon, and they come in all different time slots. With archery, it's like if you can't win, you don't show up. It's honestly not like that. It's about, well, look, I shoot 250s. I want to shoot a 260, I want to shoot a 270, let's see if I can shoot a 280. And for me, I go to a tournament to verify those scores. And right now my scores are not where they were last year, I know that, but I've still got 3 days. And fingers crossed, in 3 days I can get the score there, I can shoot a 280. Like a few days ago I wasn't shooting the scores with the compound either, and then last night I shot a personal best. And that's exactly where I'm at with this recurve. I'm going to sit here and shoot some arrows with it. Tomorrow I'm going to fletch up some spin wings, probably. And then I'm going to shoot some scores indoor and compare the spin wings to the vanes and see which one shoots the best score. So come Saturday, I'm pretty comfortable that I've got a bow I can shoot whatever score I've been shooting in practice. And my issue is I haven't shot a score in practice with the recurve for, I'm going to say 6 months. So actually I've got no idea what my score is. I just suspect from the groups, the way they're grouping on the target, that it's going to be around the 250, and that's pretty average. Very average, very bad. But there have been days of excellence. There's been days where I'm like, yeah, I can compete at a high level, and that's what I'm hoping to get to. So let me just shoot one more end with this bow, because that was first end, and I'm going to move my sights across to the side, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is my second end. Better than my first, but to me, like, the shots felt better that end than they did the first end. So the bow felt better. It didn't feel like I was whacking my arm. But I'm just not feeling it through the back. I'm not feeling the good shots, if that makes any sense at all. Like, normally when you shoot a good shot and it goes in the middle, you go, yeah, that was a good shot. When you shoot a bad shot, it's like, oh, that was a bad shot. Like, it feels okay, it feels comfortable, but for me, feeling that, I'm going to say I'm going to shoot the PSE XAppeal 42 pounds. I'm going to refletch my arrows. I'm going to make up a new set tomorrow with spin wing vanes. I'm probably going to go for a bit longer spin wing vanes, from stuff I've been reading about top recurve shooters. Brady Ellison was putting 4 spin wings on, so I'm probably going to go for a slightly longer spin wing. Now, spin wings and all that stuff's not going to help a bad shot, right? None of this stuff, like with the compound, people say, oh, what vanes are you shooting? It ain't going to help. We got back to the Archer, putting the pin in the middle and then releasing a good shot. Same as the recurve. You've got to do a good shot. So for me, I'm just interested in the difference between the spin wings and the vanes. So I'll have a set of spin wings and a set of vanes made up, and I will just plug the arrows into the target at the indoor range and see which ones shoot better and more consistent. I will still continue to shoot plastic vanes even if the spin wings shoot better, because I don't have to, there's not as much maintenance, and I sit here and I shoot 15 arrows at 18 meters. I don't want to be replacing the vanes all the time. And spin wings, from when I used to shoot spin wings when I was younger, a lot of maintenance. So that's where I'm up to. I hope that's helped you, and by all means try out competitions. There's so many kids who I sell archery gear to, and they say, oh, I'm not ready for competitions. And I've got these two I can think of, these two girls. They're sisters. And it's like, no, we're not ready for competitions. I'm like, do you know how many under 16 girls there are in the state? Well, there might be a few, but do you know how many are shooting the competition? None. And it's because they all think, oh, I'm not good enough yet. It's, if you don't shoot it, and I'm not encouraging to shoot competition, I sound like I am, but if you don't shoot it, the advantage of shooting a tournament is you get to shoot with the best archers. You're surrounded by the best archers in the state. And if you're in a state like this state that I'm in, there's a whole heap of them on the shooting line. And it's like, oh, actually, I'm not that far off them, or I'm miles off them. And it might inspire you to train a little bit more, or to get a little bit of equipment which makes you a little bit better. And if you enjoy it and you put time into it and you go, well, do you know what, I'll come back and I'll do it next year, then I reckon that's cool. So as much as it sounds like I enjoy shooting tournaments, I really don't. I'm more than happy to sit in the backyard and do this, but I feel like I should go and shoot a tournament once in a while and verify how I'm progressing, and it's basically a mark to myself on how I'm progressing and how things are moving forward and the work I'm putting in. And even though I'm not getting the results yet, I hope by Christmas I am with the recurve, and the compound's working, so something's working. Anyway, I always say, put the time in, you will get the results. It might not come straight away, it might take a couple of months, it might take 3 months, but eventually it'll come and you'll go, oh wow, and do you know what, you're an overnight success. As soon as it happens, you're like, oh wow, I'm great instantly. No, it's been years and years coming, and lots of hard work, and no one ever sees the hard work. So I'm Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies. If you're shooting the competition, best of luck, and don't stress about it. Like I said, it's not going to change your life. And just on that, I just want to go back to when I was a junior. So when I was 14, I went to basically my first competition, and I didn't know how good I was. I had no concept of how good I was. There was a kid there, his name was Peter, and he held all the Australian records, and we're friends on Facebook, so you can look him up. And he held all the Australian records. I went there and I beat him. I was shooting a York compound bow, and shot the Australian record. I've got a little gold medal to show from it. It's no big deal. It's in the bottom of my cupboard upstairs somewhere. But it was pretty cool. It was a pretty tight little competition, and my point is, you finish and you're like, oh, I'm Australian champion, yay. And it's like, do you know what, no one cares. But it's cool that you put the work in. I shot every night, and it's not that I was shooting to become Australian champion. I had no idea. I was just shooting because I liked shooting arrows. I rocked up to the tournament and I shot extremely well. I shot my best score, and I generally shoot my best scores at tournaments. So where I'm getting to with this is my limbs cracked on my bow. I had a York bow, and my limbs cracked, and I earned $5 a week working, and I worked for about 5 hours a day to earn $5. So in a year I earned $250. My bow cost me $500 back when I was 13. Anyway, my limbs cracked. A pure manufacturer fault, right? All the Yorks cracked. They cracked straight down the yoke, very common. Anyway, so I went back to the place of purchase, which is one of my competitor shops in Sydney. I said, my limbs are broken. I'm the Australian champion. I need a new set of limbs. Anyway, they basically told me to stick up my bum. I did get a new set of limbs for it eventually. It took me about 3 months to get them, and they gave me 70 pounds. And I was 14, given a 70 pound set of limbs. Never forget it. Still think they're arseholes. Forgive the language, but they are. That's the way they are. And with my archery shop, and I'm not saying I'm better in customer service or anything like that, right? But it's like, do you know what? It's about going, if that's reasonable, if it's reasonable, and that's what I like about PSE. And people go, you're very pro PSE. In 13 years, 15 years, how many years I've been dealing PSE, I have never had one problem that hasn't been fixed. Not one. So I've had people with secondhand bows and PSE have fixed them for me. I've had not one issue. The guys at PSE are the best. So when people say to me, you're very pro PSE, it's like their customer service is the best, and I so value it. I really do. And I cannot speak highly enough of that family company. And people go, oh, you're so biased. Oh yeah, but you know what? If you earn $5 a week and it takes you 2 years to save up for a bow, and the supplier tells you to stick up your bum, and the manufacturer doesn't help you, and you're the Australian champion at the time, it's like, anyway, I'm drifting here, but anyway, I got a second-hand bow. I brought a second-hand bow. 3 weeks later, that limb cracked. So I haven't really brought second-hand limbs after that. And after that, I had the York I couldn't shoot because it was 70 pounds. I had this Martin, which was a Martin Cougar. It was yellow. And the limb laminate cracked on the top. Once again, a common issue with that bow. And because it was secondhand, I couldn't claim warranty, so I was stuffed. So that was basically the end of me shooting arrows until I got myself a real job and I started shooting again. So bit of history, but I always say customer service and backup is critical with a bow company, and that's why if ever I say, look, PSE is great about customer service, and I mention it all the time, it's so dear to my heart because at the time I was a pretty good archer. So anyway, all the best with your archery, and yeah, just enjoy it, enjoy the whole process of shooting arrows and yeah, hitting your goals and doing well and being happy. So I hope that's helped you, and we'll see how I go at the Nationals in 3 or 4 days time. And like I said, all the best for your competition and your archery experience. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Bye.